Happy Thursday evening, nobody, but whoever shows up, and those who are watching later, just pretend it's Thursday. I'm just doing my normal little tweet stuff to make sure that people are aware that I am streaming some things. Oh, hold on, sorry, I have a... Oh, no, this is nothing I have to worry about. Sorry about that, I'm coming back. I'm just doing my usual thing. I don't know whether... I don't know. I'm assuming there is no actual etiquette to any of this, but I don't know if I'm supposed to not start streaming before I send the links out. I don't know if it matters. It probably doesn't. I'm guessing nobody cares, because I usually get one viewer on this thing, and that one person generally shows up, I think, not because of anything I'm sending out, but I think because they're following me. So I really do wish it would tell me, or indicate to me, I should say, who is exactly, you know, I'd like to see a name to say hello person. I don't think there's a way to see that. Hold on. I could be wrong. Is there a way to see that? No, because I don't see any way, because it's got a viewer thing, right? So I see that, but I don't edit panels. Oh, wait a minute. There's an edit panels button. I'm sorry. Hold on. Can I add scenes? No, that part's okay. I should not be doing this on the fly. Hold on. Let me tweet this. I am not able to multitask in this way. It's just not good. Okay. I'm setting that out, and then I'm gonna. Oh, jeez, I don't know. Oh, whatever. I'll just switch to my other account. Who cares? Just put it on both. I mean, it's sort of stupid to do it this way, but okay, there. I've sent it out to everywhere. Okay, wait a minute. So it's got a thing. Hold on. So it's got that screen. Yeah, but that's... Yeah, see, it doesn't have a list. So I don't know... I'm really kind of annoyed that it doesn't give me a... It doesn't tell me who's watching. So I don't know how... I don't see any way, unless I'm missing something... I don't see any way to know who's... So it says there's a viewer now, which I believe there is one. But I don't know who it is, so I can't say, hello, name. It just says one viewer, which to me is really kind of... It seems odd that they wouldn't have a name there. What does this button do? New updates. Oh. No, this is all stuff I don't care about. Yeah, I wish I could click on the viewer thing and see a list, but I really don't know of any way to do that. There does not appear to be... There's a gear button down here. Settings. Hold on. I could be wrong. Let me look. It may be that it's a... No, this is enable... May have compat... No, that's not it. I just wish it would show me, but it doesn't appear to. Start timing... No, that stuff's all okay. That advanced overrides. No, I don't need advanced. Oh wait a minute. Sorry, I'm looking through followers only. No, I'm not. No, stuff. No, whatever. Okay, I'm not gonna waste time with this. I'm sorry, I'm wasting time with this. Let me get a drink. I'm not going anywhere. I just have a cup here. Okay. I still have not identified, by the way, the mysterious noise. I don't know if my mic is actually picking up my hand tapping the screen like that. I don't think it is, but I have no idea what else would be creating this vibration. I keep hearing when I do the replays, because I do the replays before I upload the videos to YouTube, and I hear this thumping, and it's not my speaking, so because there's a pop filter, and it's not that, because I would know if it's that. And also I'm looking at the little meter. That's a little loud, but it's not bad. It's not terrible. And it doesn't line up with the thumping. But the thumping appears to be when I'm using my fingers on the iPad. The thing is, the mic is on an arm attached to a desk that I'm not touching. So how could the thumps be becoming the sounds? I can't work it out. I cannot work it out. I'm mystified. I really don't know. I may get I've been wanting to play around with wireless mics for a while, so I may pick up a wireless mic. I don't know if that's going to be any better or worse, honestly. Also really doesn't matter. Let's go ahead and hit the starting soon thing. But anyway, if that thumping is coming across in the live stream, I really don't know what's causing it. The mic is not right on top of me. I'm not actually even facing the mic right now. I'm facing kind of forward, and the mic is off to my left. So it really shouldn't be picking up any kind. I don't know what noise could cause what I'm hearing. I know it's there because I keep hearing it, but I have no idea what it is. So I'm sorry if you're hearing that on the stream. It's really not my intent for that noise to be picked up. And I hope I'm trying a couple different things. I'm spacing myself a little bit differently, and maybe that will fix something. I don't know, because I can't really isolate what's causing it. It's bugging me a little bit. But in any event, here we are back at our rip disc drawing. Now, last time, for those who missed the previously on this pointless stream, not pointless, but rambling stream, better word for it, I've actually been requested to make some videos. I don't know if I'll do them live. I may put them on the YouTube channel because, I don't know, I have to figure it out. It doesn't matter. So, in any event, I've been requested to do cartoony drawings of a cat, backgrounds, and a person. That will be geared towards younger audiences. Not that I really do anything on this channel. I mean, I guess this is technically adult material because it's I don't know, is it? This is one thing. When I put these videos up on YouTube with these zombie hands, I don't say that they're, or no, it's not, or no, when I put them on Threadless, I don't mark them as mature content because I don't know, are zombies even considered mature content anymore? It seems so tame with everything that's around. I don't really care. I have no problem marking them. I just don't think that they're particularly, what was the word I used? Mature. All right. Anyway, let's shut up now and start doing some actual work. What is this? Oh, is this the little dot lines? Yeah, those are the bone lines. So we will call those. Let's call those bone lines. Because I don't think I'm anywhere near I'm just going to check. But I don't believe I'm anywhere near my layer cap. I am a good 20 away. I have a maximum. Oh, no, I'm not. That's 111 total. I've only used 45. I have another 60 plus layers. I'm good, baby. I'm good. So, yeah, I don't care about having a lot of layers. So we're going to make another layer. And we're going to call it Details 2. No, Detail. Don't make it different names. Detail Lines 2. There we go. Now, I have to get my brush set. And I'm going to try to frequently check on the screen to make sure that the refractor doesn't die on me again. Although I really can't find evidence that there's much better than this program, so I'm going to stick with it. All right, let me check these lines. I want them to be the same. They are not, so I want these to be thicker. Let's up this to, say, 5, maybe? Let's try 5. 5 looks good. We're going to go with 5. Going to go with 5. That way the bone lines are a little bit more delicate, I guess, whatever word you want to use. And I did, okay, good. We're on the right layer. So now, let's start doing some shadow lines. Okay. See, okay, here, actually, this is a test. Here is a test for anybody listening, if you want to tell me, or myself later. Let me note the time. Right around 8.5 minutes. I'm going to tap 3 times on the screen. Okay. So I'm going to see if those 3 taps come through. 1, 2, 3. If those come through, then somehow, and I can't imagine how the hell this would happen, somehow the mic is picking up the taps as thumps, but I can't figure out why. Because, again, the mic is floating. I am not in contact unless it's... Wait, let me try something else. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. That was my foot. So I tapped my foot 3 times. It's possible I'm subconsciously tapping my foot, which is not something but it still wouldn't... Well, whatever. We'll see. I did the 3 taps on the screen. I did 6 taps on my feet. So we're going to see what happens. Actually, technically, I did 6 taps on both. Anyway, doesn't matter. Not important. Here we go. Let's start getting some... Oh, way too close. Way too tight on those lines. So we're going to start putting in our shading lines, which, as I've done on all of them, will go in the kind of shading spots. Sometimes I do these. Heard nothing. Keep rolling. Thank you, Ann Pruitt. Hey, Ann, how you doing? Mr. Pruitt, good evening. Nice to see you. Thank you for stopping by. And I appreciate you telling me that because I'm going insane over here. Because I will go crazy. Because I know that my audio setup is not, perfect. So I'm just going to keep going here. So what we're going to do here is I vary this depending on what I'm doing. I have both kept these lines within the shadow lines. Oh, interesting. Okay. No, it's good info, though. That's good info, because I can play around. But now I at least know the stroke lines. Maybe that is it. That's amazing if this mic... I mean, this is a good mic, but I really would not have expected it to pick up the stroke lines. That just seems bizarre to me. I mean, it's... Again, this was not a cheap mic, but if it picks that up, that's... I have to admit, kind of impressive to me that it actually picks that up. So with these lines, I'm going to go ahead and break out of the... out of the shadow lines here and not worry about it too much, because honestly, this is one of the beautiful parts about doing artwork is there's nobody to tell you you're wrong. You just do what you want to do. By the way, Ant, just as an aside, the print I got of your beautiful... For anybody, by the way, I will do this free promo because I have no problem mentioning other artists who are great. Go here, everybody. My handwriting is awful, but I will do it anyway. Go there and look at a print. Low cut filter. I will look at that. Go look at a print. Well, go look at all the prints. But in particular, there's a beautiful image that is fog on the Golden Gate Bridge. No problem. I am happy. I am very happy to... I actually said to my wife, I said, we're getting this print. Is this nice? And she said, that's a beautiful print. And I said, ordered. So that was an easy one. And I know exactly where it's going. And I'll send you a picture once it's up because I have the perfect spot for it. Beautiful, beautiful picture. Many beautiful pictures. But in particular, there was a spot on our wall that's over what I will call our dog's couch because it is her couch. We occasionally sit on it, but it is my dog's couch. And I have a piece of artwork that I did over it. The problem is it's way too small. Number one, it's sort of a weird piece. Not weird. It's of 2001: A Space Odyssey. It's actually a picture I really love that I did because I don't usually do... I don't even know what to describe it as, but I guess like a multi-level type of picture. And I sort of accidentally did a bit of a word play in the background where it sort of spells out 2001 unintentionally. I didn't realize it when I was doing it, so I don't know if that was the whole subconscious was doing its artwork for me type of thing, or if it just happens that the spaces line up correctly, but it looks like it says 2001. It doesn't take much of an imagination to see the numbers 2001. I'm not particularly thrilled with how the actual figure of Dave Borman turned out, but that's something that can be fixed in post, as they say, because I will eventually digitize that and fix it. But anyway, it's a smaller image too. I didn't do it on the normal larger size paper that I do, but we had this blank spot on the wall. And I tend to frame a lot of the pictures I actually like that I do because there aren't a ton of them. And it can absorb wall space so that it's not blank for a while. But I've really never been all that thrilled with where it was because it's not big enough for the space it's in, and it sort of sticks out. It doesn't really go with the flow of the rest of the room. So I've been kind of for a while. Ooh, I missed a place where I should put some color. Let me get that in there. Let's do a quick aside here. And we're just going to do a little bit of color splotching. I'm going to put a little bit of color in here. So anyway, I didn't really have anything that was there. It was kind of, it was a weird spot, and my wife was like, "I'll leave it. It's, I like seeing your artwork out here." And there is a piece of artwork that I did back in college that we have hanging up over the fireplace. That's a big piece. It's monochrome because the room isn't monochrome, but it's sort of beige is the wrong, like sand, I guess sand, like a light sand. And then there's some darker colors, but it's on the whole, it's to me a room that works better with kind of monochrome or very strong contrasty stuff, a lot of black and whites, Mike Mignola type stuff. So the image I did isn't really that. There's a lot of detail. In fact, I forgot. It's behind. You can't really see it, so I apologize. This is a bad example. But it's the very background of what you're looking at here, way back behind, and I inverted it. But you can see what I mean about there's big empty spaces, those lines. That's the actual 2001 image. That's what I'm talking about. The problem is it's too small. That's really the problem. It's too small. And so I got to a point I went, yeah, all right. This has been occupying this space as sort of a, well, there's nothing better. type of thing for way too long. And I finally just went, okay, we got to get a proper image that's properly sized, because I don't know what that size of that image is, but it's got to be, it's probably like 14 by something, 14 by 10 maybe. And normally I work at 18 by 24, but even that just didn't seem large enough. It just didn't seem like the right fit for the space. So I wanted a nice big print. And the one that I ordered, I think, is 40 by 20 or 28. I don't remember. Nice wide. Not so wide that it overshoots the edges of the couch, but wide enough to be a nice focal piece when you walk in. So basically on one side, there's the big image that I did, which is probably about that size, but a little more rectangular, not rectangular, squarish, as opposed to the widescreen. And now on the other side, there's going to be that print. And the nice part is, my artwork is black and white, because that's mostly what I work in. At least I did when I did traditional media. And then on the other side, it's going to be that nice kind of black and white monochrome. So they're going to be almost like a mirroring effect. Little stupid interior design stuff that I'm not at all qualified to do, but I sit there and go, yeah, that's not an accident. I planned that. So, it's the stupidest thing to be this impressed with myself about. But it's one of those little things where I'll walk in the room and go, yep, that was not accidental. I planned those things to look like that. So anyway, I'm just rambling on about how I decorate the walls in a house. That's the content people want to show up for, isn't it? Interior design tips from a dope. Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna do a little bit of more or less. Yeah, it's funny stuff. Yeah, I don't even. I shouldn't say that, because it's so impossible. Really, this is what I enjoy about it. It's so impossible to figure out what people will respond to. You just don't know. Nothing ever makes sense. Things that you think people are gonna. Oh no, that's a color layer. Hold on, I gotta get rid of that. It's gonna bug me the whole stream. Things that you think people will respond to, they don't. Things that you're sure everybody's gonna glom onto, they it's so randomized on what people respond to. There we go. There's a bone line, really? Okay. I mean, some things make sense, but other things it's because I'm not young, so I don't know what. I'm not tapped into the particular pop culture rhythms that most other people are, which is fine. I don't have to be on top of everything. When I was a kid, I liked the fact that older people didn't get it. That's all right. I don't need to get it. It's okay. I have the things that I like, and I have the stuff that I respond to, and younger people do too, and nobody's right and nobody's wrong. I mean, about most things. There is right and wrong, don't misunderstand. There are things, but in terms of what people enjoy and why they enjoy it, as long as nobody's getting hurt, then whatever. I don't need to be in agreement or even in any type of understanding of, I caught it. Hold on. I'll fix it. Hold on. I gotta fix that first. Okay. I will fix that. Bear with me. Let's trigger the old. I don't know why it's doing that. So I wonder if that's a Mac thing. That doesn't make any sense, because it wasn't doing it this much. So either there was some update with the Mac. Luckily, it's easy to fix it. So it'll come back in a second. It does come right back. Okay, here we go. So that's okay. But anyway. But it's bugging me, because it's doing it a couple times a stream now, and it's saying everything's updated. The only thing I don't know if is updated is the Twitch Studio. I got to look into that, because that's a little nebulous. I may actually. I see that dot. I see a dot. Don't try it. I got you. I may have to look at something like, if I may look into something like OBS. I just know the last time I tried OBS, it just seemed like it was way overpowered and complicated for what I'm doing. But, that was a while ago, and I know they generally improve these products to make them easier, so I should revisit it. It was just so easy to set this thing up. But, when I have some time, probably in the next few weeks, I will actually mess around, because the only other thing about this program is it's eating up so much CPU for no good reason that I can figure out. But then again, I don't necessarily buy into the hype machine of the M1 Max being the greatest things on the earth. I think they're just computers like many other computers, and for some people they're the right one, and for some people they're the wrong one. This is a great computer for OBS. Never works for me. I hate that. XSplit. I don't mind paying. If the thing works, I'll pay for it. So that's not an issue for me. All that I care about is that the thing works, and that I'm not going to have to buy a manual the size of my head to be able to figure it out. I don't mind doing a little bit of legwork. I'll do it. I'm not lazy, but at the same time, I don't want to devote, 72 hours of a weekend and a Monday to get something to work. Yeah, that's 24 plus 48. Yeah, that's right. Oh, that's an eraser. Okay, there we go. That's the only thing, this double tap. I never used the double tap on the Apple Pencil. I know a lot of people do. I really do wish that Apple would make a pencil that actually had a function where when you flip it over and use the back, it's like an eraser. That seems like such an Apple thing, to make the Apple Pencil have the ability to make the back an eraser. That just seems like one of those things they would just do because they could call it magical and get an applause break for 20 minutes. I don't know why they haven't done it. I mean, maybe I'm the only one looking for that, but it just seems like it's such an obvious thing. Then again, on the other hand, to be fair about it, this Apple Pencil 2, compared to the 1, this thing, Wacom does that. No, you know what? I agree. And I tried Wacom for a while. I did. I could never, and I know that they make the Wacoms that are kind of like the iPad now. The first couple I tried, because I remember them being expensive at the time, and this is years ago. So I know they're not cheap or anything like that, but I tried the ones where it was the surface and then your monitor is what you were drawing on the surface, but the monitor was showing. And I could not overcome that gap, whatever you call that difference in interface where I'm drawing without looking at what I'm drawing and looking at the screen and trying to line my hand up with that. I couldn't do it. I tried. I had a Wacom for about 2 weeks, and I fought to make. This is so pre. There was no iPad. There was nothing like that. Wacom was really, as far as art tablets, it was the only game in town. That's what I used the most, the pen tablet, but also the pen display. Yeah, no, I would imagine. But at that time also, I wasn't doing digital art still. I was still mostly doing traditional media. And so what I had gotten the Wacom for was to take the pen and ink stuff or pencil stuff that I was doing, scan it in, and then digitally clean it up and make it, put the blacks to blacker and give it clean lines and all that stuff. And that's, I couldn't get past it. But I always liked Wacoms. I wanted to like it because, that's what I saw digital artists using. And I'm like, that's what people who are doing this for real are using. Yeah, I would imagine that helps too. Yeah, if you're doing retouching, yes, if I was doing it on a pre-done image, I don't think I would have that gulf wouldn't exist if I was working on something that was existing. But since what I was doing was essentially sort of tracing, because it was my own work, but I was going over it, the lines would never quite line up right. And man, I'm a control freak when it comes to, you can tell looking at this, there aren't sketchy lines in my stuff. I don't like it. And so it just drove me up a wall. Now, what am I going to do with okay, I got to figure this out. So for the actual tear, I don't want to eat up, I want the tears to be kind of puckered. So what I think I'm going to do for the tear itself is I'm only going to do the lines on the outside of the shadow like this. And that's to kind of emphasize that there is here I'm going to try to use a big word and not mispronounce it, a topographical difference, there we go, between, that I want to show that there's a little bit of a differentiation here. And so I'm going to use just the hashes, or whatever you want to call the little marks. I'm only going to do those on the outside of the shadow there. So that kind of distinguishes it. There's like a ripple in the skin. At least that's the effect I'm going for. I don't know if it's going to come off that way, but that's what I'm going for. And then everywhere that's not, so like here, I'll do the same thing. Although with that, okay, so what I'm going to do with this is, this first edge, let me fix that. No. There we go. This first edge, I'm going to go in here, and I am going to go into it, but I'm only going to go in so far. And that will do that will hopefully give the effect of the difference in, I don't know, topography is what's coming to my head, but I know that's not right. The difference in, texture is not right either. Relief, like a relief. So I'm just going to do now a little bit of line. No, don't want them to join though. Let's do a little bit of line in here to kind of indicate a bit of a dimple in the skin. And just, not that, again, I just sat here and said there's no right or wrong way to do it. I'm sitting here as if I'm breaking some kind of... There is no rule. What rule is there? There isn't any rules. Just do whatever you want to do. It's amazing how quickly I can just disregard the thing I just said. It's almost a skill. Problem is you can't get paid for it. I mean, I guess you can if you're on TV. If you're on TV, you can get paid to just say things and then contradict them immediately, I guess. You can do a lot with that, actually, if you're in celebrity or professional politics. But let's not start on that, because I don't want to bum everybody out on my stream. If you want to see that, there's plenty of other avenues for that kind of material. We will stick to just drawing lots of little lines. This, by the way, is the part that takes forever. My wife will look at me doing this and can't understand how I can do it. And there is sort of a hypnotic effect to it where I just kind of get entranced by it. I don't know if you can kind of tell my voice even seems like it's different because, you know, it's fun. Oh, no, not when I do that, though. See, there's the beauty of digital. I did that. If I did this on paper with ink, I would flip out. I did it. I did it more than a few times when I was younger. And I would just want to, and in fact I did. I had something that I had worked on, I'm going to say for 2 days. And I actually was pretty happy with it. And then I was using a thick kind of, like a brush marker, I guess you would call it. It was, who made that? There were the two that, God, I can't, not Micron. It wasn't Micron. It was a different one. I got to behind him. I'm going to turn around because I probably hit into the mic. But in any event, I had this brush thing and I dropped it. And it just like skidded down the thing just right that it left this streak. And I looked at it and look, I probably could have gotten whiteout. I probably could have spent a couple hours trying to fix it. But the problem with me is I've got what I call a 10-second temper, or a 10-minute. Hey, Aunt, good seeing you, man. Take care. No, I understand. Get away from the computer. It's bad for you for too much. But not a 10-second temper. If only I had a 10-second. No, I've got a 10-minute temper. And I just ripped the whole thing in half. Just destroyed it. And 10 minutes later, I was like, you're a moron. You should have just fixed it. That's what I mean about a 10-minute temper. When it comes to my work, I get extremely... I don't do it with a lot of other things. For whatever reason, and I think it's because I know it's harmless, quote unquote, because it's my work and nobody else is harmed by it. But man, I get very savage about my work. I've gotten better at that. I'm not quite as bad with that now, especially because digital helps if I make a mistake. Although even with the oil painting that my wife and I have been doing, I've now really, I more than once, it has become clear to me that if I'm not liking something, just stop and walk away from it for not 10 minutes, but maybe 20, 30 minutes, come back. And a lot of times I actually like the paintings way better than I did when I walked away from them. So I've gotten better at that. I'm not going to tell you I'm a pro at it or anything. That would be a lie. But I feel like I've gotten a better handle on it. But that's where, man, digital is for me, this was a lifesaver. I was against it for a while, to be honest. I had this really, really dumb attitude where like, well, if it's digital, it's not real work because, you know, you can fix it. And then at some point I thought to myself, you're an idiot, because that would be the point, to be able to fix it. Why would you just scrap something good if you can actually carve something out of it? And especially with digital, it's still the same skill. It really is. It still all comes from the same place. It's all still an artistic expression, an artistic ability. So what's the difference? Because there is no difference. That's what it is. So, yeah, and now I do 98% of my work on the iPad. I was talking about this the other night on Michael Fisher, who goes by Mr. Mobile, he did a thing on Spotify Live, kind of like I guess their Clubhouse equivalent. And for his last show, he wanted to, I missed a piece of color there. He wanted people to talk about the positive side of tech, because so often we hear the negative stuff. And so he wanted people to come on and talk. And I said, look, this, for somebody who was not doing artwork for a while, and I wasn't, this has allowed me to be able to not only do the work again, because I don't have to worry about the size and scale of things. Even though this image is at print scale, whoops, wrong thing. Pull it back up. At print scale, this image is what? Let's take a look. Dimensions. This will print at 9 by 18. But it's on a 12.9-inch iPad. That's amazing. Like that's unbelievable in terms of what is possible now. And really, for all my complaints about Apple, and I have many, and all my, the things I think Apple does that are actually pretty bad in terms of consumers and end users and ecosystem lock-in and all that stuff, there is no question to me that this is, if not the most important technological product development, the iPad itself, in my life. I mean, it probably is. It really, because it has allowed me to do artwork again in a way that certainly with a speed I wouldn't have been able to do in traditional, because, I don't live in a mansion. Therefore, I can't have 8 different art tables with 18 by 24 prints on them. Whereas on the iPad, I have, on some nights, jumped back and forth between 3, 4, 5 pieces and gotten multiple different things done. In fact, at one point, and I still can't talk about what this is, but I will at some point, I promise. I did a piece of work for a company, and they actually commissioned 4 pieces from me in a very small amount of time. And so I was able to hop between those. So I was, kind of, because when I would get to a certain point, and I think if you create anything, and I would imagine this is the same, writing, music, art, graphic arts, photography, anything. If you do too much of something, you start to not be able to see it objectively anymore. And that's very true with illustration, because especially at the scale sometime that I'm working, doing all these hash marks, they're all going to start to bleed together for me. Which is why I keep these streams to no more than an hour, because I know at some point it's just not good for me. And sometimes less. In fact, the one tonight, my left eye has been acting up lately. I think it's just because I've been doing some intense stuff for work in front of a screen, and that's not great for you after a while. But, with the iPad, I get to a part with one picture where, again, it was almost the oil paint effect, where I would say, okay, I'm not going to, I'm starting to hate this thing. And so I would jump to a different picture, a different piece, work on that for 30, 45 minutes, whatever, and then come back and be like, oh, yeah, this isn't so bad. Tweak 1 or 2 things, certainly. I'm not going to say I nailed it every time on the first shot. I definitely didn't. But the ability to reframe the perspective, to step away, not look at something for a little while, come back and go, okay, I was really focused on... Oh, my thing went away. Sorry. Bear with me. I will get it back. Whoops. I didn't mean to do that. I noticed it again, luckily. Yeah, see, twice the stream this did it. I don't understand it. Here, let me go to this real quick. Wait till it comes back. It may come back without me having to do anything. Let me see. Give it a minute. I'm just waiting for it to... Okay, there it is. All right. Okay. Sorry, I really don't know why that's happening, but I will look at X... What was it? XSplit. XSplit. I'm going to look at that. Thank you, Ant, again. Ant Pruitt. Great photographer. Nice guy. Had him on my show. I'm blown away that he stopped by the stream, because that guy does good work. Go look at it. But yeah, that's something that there's no way, because I have worked on multiple traditional pieces at the same time, but there's just a limit to what you can do with that for many reasons. And especially because I tend to work larger. And so, again, unless you have a whole room or a studio, which I do not, that you can devote to having, and some people, you can, if you go look, you'll see studios where people are working on multiple pieces all the time. Yeah, I don't have that benefit. I do not have the luxury of having a large studio where I can do that stuff. I have a very small studio, which, 18 by 24 is not a small piece of paper. Go measure it out and you'll see. Trying to do more than one of those at a time, not going to be very easy if you don't have a ton of space. And also, it's very easy on the iPad, because I could literally invert this entire image in 2 seconds. Again, not something I can do in traditional media. So if I start something off in traditional black and white or monochrome, whatever you want to call it, and I realize halfway in, however many hours into it, that I should have used a different color, or that it would work way better as a pure black and white piece, I'm kind of screwed because I can't just flip a toggle and invert the whole piece. On this, I can. That's what I mean about it. It sounds like hyperbole. It's really not for me. Your mileage will vary depending on what you're doing. But the iPad is just so useful and really did reinvigorate my kind of artistic avenues in a way that I don't know what other product would do it. I just don't. And that's not meant to be an advertisement for Apple. I'm not trying to be I'm certainly not an Apple super fan. If you listen to our shows for long enough, you're going to pick that up. But I also think you have to give credit where it's due. And this thing is, although as has been mentioned on some shows that Ant's been on, I would love to see a competitor for it. I did a whole show on saying that I think it's very bad in a lot of ways that the iPad is as dominant as it is. I don't think that's you know what? I really don't like any of that. I'm gonna undo that. I'm gonna change that. See, like this. If I had done that on pen and paper, I was stuck with it. Now, can alter that direction 2 seconds. But I would like to see a viable alternative to the iPad. And I think honestly a lot of people want that to come from Android. I think if it happens, I think it's going to come from Microsoft. Microsoft's done a lot right with the Surface. I like the actual Surface machines. Is there one that rivals the iPad? No, there isn't. But I think Microsoft could do it. I think the company has the capability. But the company is in a weird space right now because I don't think consumer is what Microsoft really cares about right now. I think that's pretty evident that they're pretty focused on the enterprise. And if that's the case and they're not going to come back to consumer, or at least not in anything other than a half-hearted way, then they're not going to do anything that's going to compare to the iPad. So it would in that case have to be Android, I guess. But I really don't care who does it. I just want somebody make something that rivals this machine. Because no company that just operates and you can already, I know people will say no, but yes, you can already start to see Apple being the dominance of Apple being to its own detriment. You can see it if you look close, which isn't to say I think they're going to go bankrupt or anything in a year. They're not. They're going to be around for a long time unless something drastic happens. I mean, you'd have to have the whole executive board somehow die in a plane crash for anything to really bring down Apple right now. But I don't think their dominance is without its cost. And I think you can see that cost already. Small ways, but they are there. All right, you know what? This is a good spot, I think, to wrap up. So we've got some detail lines happening inside our shadows. I'm pretty happy with those. Yep. Might do a little tweaking. And there's going to be more small detail work. So right now what I'm going to do is focus on just the hash marks here for a while. So we'll pick up with that again. But yeah, this is a good spot. Oh, my left hand. I was holding it in the wrong spot. Yeah, I'll pay for that one later. In any event, thanks for stopping by and spending a little bit of your Thursday over here. I hope you are doing very well, staying safe and happy. And have if you're a father, happy Father's Day in a few days from now, because I don't think I'll be streaming in between now and then. I don't think, unless, I just get some free time and decide to, but that would be very impromptu. So if I do not stream again before Father's Day, have a wonderful Father's Day. Spend it with the people you love. And, I miss my father. And I think about him on Father's Day because he was a great father to me. So, if you are a father, then enjoy this time with your loved ones. And if you're not, then have a great Sunday doing whatever you want, in any way you want. Watch a movie, read a book, go outside. Unless you're allergic to everything, stay inside then. Whatever you do, have a good time doing it. And we will be back again, unless something comes up, next week. Take it easy, and we'll see you later.